Jason Riley, thanks for doing this. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Probably our most exciting one ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Jay, we don't just throw stuff around like this
We do
all the time.
Actually, we do all the time.
This is truly extraordinary this time.
We mean it. We mean it.
Okay. Listeners, this is going to be very much a Jason-focused episode. It's been a while. We're overdue. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a 16 to 18-minute unbroken monologue. But the first thing we're going to do before we get there is have our first shot of the evening. And Jay, what have you got on your side, my friend?
I'm going to raise my first glass in honor of you, my friend, and it's Tullamore Dew. What have you got?
Okay. Right back at you with some Bushmills 12-year. This is a little more special, and it's just for you. Cheers.
Cheers. The notes. Good
so
stuff.
Many notes. Whoa.
What do you mean, Barry? What are you talking about? What would I be talking about for 16 to 18 minutes of a soliloquy, you might say?
Yeah, an unbroken monologue. That's what I'm hoping for. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason has just returned from the Far East. Yes. He was in developed Asia. That's all we can say. Developed Asia. You can figure out on a map what countries those might be. And why was he there? This is where I'm going to turn it over to you, Jay. Take the wheel. This is your life. Let's go.
Okay. Thank you, Barry, for setting this up. It has been a little while since we've talked. Well, you and I have texted and gift. But yes, I had the privilege of spending some weeks in Tokyo, Japan, over there on an acting job, which you and our fine listeners and viewers will be able to see probably in the next year or so. So I can't say much more about that right now in the specifics. But as you said before we got on the air, that will just add to the mystery. So I expect some pretty intense discussions from our viewers and our listeners, some speculation, maybe some betting on, what's that betting app, Kalshi?
Yeah, Kalshi. Go over to Kalshi right now and lay some money down on whether Jason is going to be in The Samurai 2, which was my guess.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, that's not happening. Tom Cruise would never relinquish that part, even though, Jay, it would make sense for you to step into the role. Is it a Godzilla film? I mean, there's so many things that came out of Tokyo, my friend. Like, where to begin with the guessing?
Well, we don't even need to begin, or we'll just end with it. And it'll come out, and I will let you know when said thing comes out. But the exciting thing, and what I would like to talk about, was the Tokyo experience, because that was something I had never had the opportunity to be a part of before. I've never traveled that far. 14 hours into the future, Barry.
Yes.
That's where I lived. I saw the next day before you did, and got to let you know.
It was rather unsettling.
Happen.
As your friend left back here in the past, it was rather unsettling when I would wake up and get a text saying, it's Friday morning. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's still Thursday where I'm at, brother. I was hoping you could somehow transmit some winning lottery numbers back through time, but I guess it doesn't
work that way somehow.
Okay.
But I was there. Executive producer Aldo Roma was able to come out for part of it as well. So thank God he was there. He got to really help me to explore, because what I learned as a self-traveler for part of this trip, at the beginning part, was I'm not that adventurous. Probably not a shock to you, but I would be very happy just hanging in and around my hotel area, enjoying McDonald's, which they have plenty of, 7-Eleven, which is, my God, man, the number of 7-Elevens in Tokyo. I looked it up. There's like 2,500 in and around that area, and it shows. There are multiple ones on every corner. They love their 7-Elevens. They love their convenience stores in general in Tokyo, Japan.
I believe 7-Eleven is born of a Japanese company. I think it started there.
Really?
That's the reason why. Yeah. That's
that
why
makes
you see
sense.
so many. Yeah.
There are so many. And the convenience store experience, while similar to North America, is quite different in what you can get. Like the fresh foods that are available, things are packaged. It just is quite amazing. That was one of the first big takeaways I took away from my experience in Japan. Also, there are people constantly on the move, Barry. It's incredible. The volume of people that are moving in and around and packing on subways, and it just doesn't stop. You have to kind of weave your way in like salmon if you're trying to get across. You have to just kind of weave your way. And they do this every day. They're doing this weaving and weaving and weaving. It's rare. There's not a lot of eye contact, but there's a mission and there's like a sense of when you're zipping around people. I started to get the hang of it. because it is a little off-putting because they drive on the left side of the road and the steering wheels are on the right side of the car. So the passenger traffic is on the left side. So I now have a better appreciation for people that are visiting our country and not quite sure exactly what side to pass on, what side of the escalator to stand on and pass on. Like everything is the exact reverse. And so there were a few times I was caught off guard and I had to learn you where you would pass on the left, stand on the right. It is the exact opposite in Japan.
Did you do any bowing to greet people?
All the time. And I would still be there bowing to my first person right now because they will bow you out of a room. You have to go first. They will continue to bow until you stop and consciously leave. So bowing was something I picked up.
Yeah.
Ohayo gozaimasu, that's good morning. Konnichiwa is good afternoon.
Yes.
I'm forgetting good evening. I didn't say good evening a lot because I wasn't out in the evenings very much.
Yeah,
but
you were safely
Ohayo
packed away.
Yeah, I was tucked away. Those are your big ones. You got to know that. Sumimasen. Sumimasen means excuse me in just about every way. If you want something, if you want someone's attention, if you bumped into somebody, if you're looking to get directions, sumimasen is a key one.
How much English was spoken?
Hardly any. That's another thing. Tourism is not encouraged. There is, in fact, a tourist tax on hotel rooms. There's very little going out of their way to speak English. I use my Google Translate app a lot to even order off of machines, like some of there's a lot of that
menu
at the McDonald's.
Yeah.
A lot of pointing. There's a lot of pointing at things. And so there's not a lot of English at all. And they're by design, clearly by design. I will say this also, while we're this is like sort of stream of consciousness of things, the subway system, Barry.
Yeah, how was that?
Very intricate subway system, massive compared to Toronto. Plenty of trains, plenty of lines. I must have rode it 20 times. Not one single delay.
That's very nice.
Not one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, were the stop announcements in English?
Yes, they were.
Okay, so that's helpful.
And the map inside of when the next stop was coming up would occasionally flash in English. So that was useful.
That's good.
There's like a countdown timer so you can see how many minutes from one stop to the next stop. And that was great.
That.
Yeah, to be able to get on and go, oh, okay, it's 20 minutes. I can get comfortable. There's no getting comfortable, though, because you never know when a station is people are just going to come flooding in like a wave.
Yeah.
It's like that. There's just some really busy stations, and it is pretty confusing. They like to tape things up. They're not big fans of permanent signage. I don't know why.
Okay.
Maybe it's the earthquakes, whatever. It's a transient society. I don't know. But there's lots of cutesy little signs taped up when you have to go somewhere. Like if somebody was pointing to a restroom, there'd be lots of taped up signs pointing to the restroom.
Really?
But it's not moving, so why wouldn't you just put one big permanent sign? I don't know, Barry. That is a mystery to me.
That is an amazing observation that only you would be able to sniff that out.
Yeah,
It's pretty incredible.
It was pretty exciting. It was an exciting trip.
You also came across a Pizza Hut, so you must have been delighted. I believe that you used the word, I found my holy grail, if I'm remembering the text message from the future correctly, and I was delighted to see that you were quite happy. It was one of the biggest grins I've ever seen on your face, which was
I was so happy.
amazing.
I didn't eat there, surprisingly.
What?
No, I walked by it, and I took a picture in front of it.
Yeah.
There's also a Domino's. Sure. No, I didn't eat there. I will be going back in April for another few days. Yeah, a much tighter turnaround, but there are a couple scenes left to be shot, and they're happening
days
in April. It is a massively quick turnaround for this thing. So I'll be going back, and so I have kind of Pizza Hut earmarked as one of the places I'd like to visit. What will be a very speedy trip. So that one is there. Yeah. I was with the executive producer, Aldo Roma, for a lot of it, especially that part of it when I discovered the Pizza Hut. Yeah. So, I knew he wouldn't be so excited about that. So I just, filed it right away in the old brain to say, I'll be back. And so I will do that.
You also sent me a picture. You guys took a walk through kind of like an ancient park that looked kind of wild. Yeah. Did you visit any temples or any landmarks in Tokyo that are worth sharing?
Lots of parks. Yeah. I went to the We went to the Tokyo Tower, which was key. It was like one of the tall freestanding structures in Tokyo. So I got to see
Mm-hmm.
the sunset from the Tokyo Tower. We
Well,
saw
that's
a bunch
cool.
of parks.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really great. They have really nice parks, really great kind of
Is it
countryside,
clean there?
very clean. Oh my God, the streets, Barry. Let's talk about the cleanliness of Tokyo
Yeah.
after, because we have a format on the show.
Yeah.
We do
Let's
shot number
shoehorn
2.
in shot number 2. I don't even want to interrupt you. This is just such good stuff. I'm completely enthralled with it.
But we must.
We
And I've got
must.
Tullamore Dew for you.
Okay. And I got some Bushmills 12 year right back at you, brother. Welcome home.
Cheers.
So really clean.
Yeah, let's touch on that. There is, I think I mentioned this to you. There's no like food. There's really no eating outdoors in Tokyo, which it's very
Hmm.
frowned upon. When you take your meal, you go home and you eat there, or you eat and you stay at the restaurant. In fact, if you get a coffee to go,
Yeah.
they will put it in a bag and they will seal that bag. And
You
so the
did tell me that.
expectation,
You did
yeah,
tell me that. That is wild.
yeah. I got a McDonald's coffee the first
Mm-hmm.
day and I drank part of it in the restaurant. And then I started walking around and I quickly realized I'm the only person on the street. And there were thousands of us. I'm the
Yeah.
only person carrying a beverage. And apparently that's done more in Tokyo, especially with younger people. There was none
Mm-hmm.
around me, but it is really not encouraged. There are garbage cans nowhere.
So that's why.
I guess you'd think that would mean more garbage, but people follow the rules. People line
Hmm.
up for subways. They
No pushing.
pour on. They'll
Yeah.
shove to get on, but when they're waiting, it's not like on a subway platform. You and I would appreciate this. When you come down, there's already lots of people. You angle to try and get to the front because you're like,
Of
I'm never going to
course.
get on a subway train. Not there. There is lineups, specific places to stand at each door. A lot of the subways are behind,
Wow.
a protective glass so that
Yep.
you can't push onto the tracks. And
Mm-hmm.
they just line up. And it is pretty incredible the way that they sort of follow the rules.
That's cool.
I really appreciated that. A rule following society.
Yeah. I have a question. Just last thing about the subway. When you were in the subway tunnels, were you seeing any ads projected in the tunnel itself, or
No,
what was that like?
there
No?
was none
Were
of
there
that.
TVs on board, like showing commercials and stuff like
Yes,
that?
there were some
Yeah.
little ones. And every ad was ridiculous. I recorded
Yeah.
a couple for you. I don't think I sent you any. But
You
like
haven't yet.
one guy he's solving a Rubik's Cube and sitting
Yeah.
next to him is like a sumo wrestler with a mask on,
Mm-hmm.
shouting, and this guy's doing weird expressions. And there was another one
Okay.
with a woman, and the best I could make out of this ad was she was getting 3 piles of this shrimp type product fresh out of the sea for $50.
Okay. Sounds like
I
a
don't
deal.
know. All of I guess it was all crazy. Like all their shows it reminds me kind of Quebec here, where like all the shows are a little bit wild and a little bit out there because they got their own star system, their own culture, and it's always
Yeah.
been a little exaggerated. This is like that on crack. Like every show is just because everybody seems so reserved, but their TV shows are just bonkers. So
Wow. That's
it's
so
really,
interesting.
yeah, it's really something. I watched the movie Lost in Translation for the first time this weekend. Aldo and I did.
Yep.
And I can say that there's that one scene where he was on set, Bill Murray, and he's
Yeah.
getting direction
About to
from the
get
director.
interviewed. Yeah.
Not even well, that was funny, but he was on set doing his whiskey commercial.
Yeah. Right.
At the beginning, somebody had sent me that, a friend of mine, and that happened to me. So I will say that exact scene almost perfectly played out, like it was with no exaggeration, just the direction you get in Japanese, and then it's translated, and it's translated in like 2 words, but the direction itself is like a minute long of conversation, and it is really
Amazing.
it is real. It happened. We were laughing because it's like that is not an exaggeration. That is actually what happened.
Wow.
It was
You
something
really
else.
were absolutely submerged in a different culture where you
I
picked up all
was.
kinds of cool stuff. Now, did you notice that there were a fair number of like is the overall population there like fit
Yes,
because people are milling around and zipping around? Yeah. Okay.
everybody's walking. There are very
Everyone's
few
walking. Yeah.
mobility scooters. Like you don't
Right.
see that, and everybody's in shape or like fit to a degree.
Yep.
A lot
Even
of
the elderly?
walking.
Are the
Yes,
elderly out there walking around? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
lurching in some cases. In many cases, lurching around. Like I
Sure.
find there's a lot of pelvic issues because especially as you get older. But they're
That's
moving.
an opportunity for somebody to get over there and
Yeah.
solve some pelvic issues.
Yes, but they're up and moving. Like here,
Yeah.
You
They're
might
not
be
sedentary.
in a chair and zipping around. They are moving. They are sweeping. Everybody, there was somebody vacuuming the park,
What?
the outdoor park. There was in the waterfall with a vacuum.
That's
They're
incredible.
sweeping.
That's pride. Pride in your home, dude.
I love
Pride in
it.
your environment.
I can get
I love that.
behind that. The
Yeah.
parks had like a nominal charge. So you'd pay like the equivalent of $3 or $5. I think it prevents people
Really?
because there's a lot of commuters from like, cutting through the parks, and it works, and it keeps it nice and quiet and beautiful.
Wow.
What else should I say before we wrap? Just the fact
Was there
that
any smoking in public? I wanted to ask that.
a lot of smokers, not in public, in designated rooms. So a lot of indoor rooms in a restaurant where you would
Wow, they have
stand.
smoking indoors. That's
Rooms.
wild.
Yeah. There was somebody in like,
Yeah.
it was like a phone booth, and we were having lunch, and she would get up and she went in and she'd go for a puff once in a while.
Really?
And
That's
this
incredible.
woman, and it's like super, like it would like, so you could hear the fan going. It would just suck it up. It was like she was in a
industrial
phone booth.
strength.
Yeah, a lot of smoking sections still in restaurants and smoking closed rooms, tons of them, but not outside. No cigarette butts. I'm only realizing that now. No cigarette butts in the streets.
No one smoking even in walking through the park.
No, I didn't see that at all. Not one. That's a good point. I didn't
amazing.
connect that, but that's true. Yeah.
So they want to keep their smoking indoors. That's kind of, I mean, I like this. I mean, it's making me want to go. Like, it
Yeah, it's
sounds
really
kind of
cool.
like, it sounds really kind of topsy-turvy in some ways, but also kind of inviting,
Yeah,
because it's different. It's very, very different.
Very different. And like I said, very efficient, people moving around really quickly. You would have appreciated the speed that people walked. You would love that. There's no.
How did
you don't
Aldo
fall
Roma,
behind.
executive producer, handle that? Because he's more of a saunterer, as you have said numerous times. So how did he like the people whizzing by him?
He picked it up. He picked it up when it was time to get in the subway. You got to move along. Move along, son. Otherwise, you get left behind. And then saunter when you're in the park. You can kind of get out of the way when you're in the park. You can saunter. So he did have his saunter time, but
that's good.
To move, you had to pick it up, move along. Yeah.
Did you do any shopping while you were there? Did you pick up anything?
Few things like Christmas stuff. We always get an ornament every year for the tree, so we got one from there.
What ornament did you select from Tokyo?
It's like an anime character that just styled thing, and it fit nicely.
That's cool.
We found it. So we're like,
I thought maybe Godzilla. You might have got a Godzilla.
Oh, that I don't think we both would have appreciated that. So yeah,
that's fair. That would have been for you only.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
incredible.
That's the adventure. It was great. I'll have more on what I was working on as it becomes available, and I'm able to chat about it, and I'll let you know first, and all of our listeners and viewers know first. Like I said, it's probably a 2027 kind of thing.
Right. Well, it's incredible. I just want to ask one more question. Were you also in Hiroshima, or was everything taking place in Tokyo?
Tokyo. I was in Tokyo for the whole time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I know at one point there was talk of you perhaps being there as well. So it sounded like the production was just done in Tokyo. Not just, but it was done in Tokyo.
Yeah. All my stuff was inside on like sound stages and various stages. So it was
so exciting.
Yeah. There's no location shooting.
Pretty wild, eh? So how does it feel to be a working actor who went to developed Asia to rip out a performance that no doubt is going to have everyone in Japan with their jaws on the floor? Let's bring us home here, because this is truly incredible. I know nobody else who's had the experience that you have. And I don't think you know anyone else who's had the experience you have, except for you. So you are unique in this sphere of the working actor working abroad. It's pretty wild.
I'll say top 3 experiences of my life. This one fits easily into that.
That's fantastic.
Incredible.
What were the other 2 experiences?
I don't know. I just said that.
I'm just teasing. You didn't have that ready. I don't expect you to. Well, Jay, welcome home. It's incredible. Thank you very much for sharing all the details of your amazing adventure working abroad. It's pretty wild. And the fact that you're going back, and there's some scenes that will also be shot in Toronto, or is that not happening now?
Not happening. So it's all going to happen there. That's why I'm going back.
It's all there. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's so much more to talk about, and we will get to that in future episodes. And viewers and listeners, if you want to guess what Jay might be working on, go ahead and put something in the comments, and you might be right.
Yeah.
Just for fun. And we'll see you next week.
We'll neither confirm or deny. And
yes, at this time.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks, Barry. And next week, much more Barry-centric show. Absolutely.
It was a pleasure interviewing you, Jay. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I, and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday, and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.